Hello, I'm back with a book haul because I have fallen off the wagon and brought 23 books. And I will say most of these are from Vinted. I have been very weak, but I've been selling some on Vinted, so it's fine. Saying that, the first one's going to go through our charity bookshops that I got because most of the books I've got here are used, so I'm very excited to get through them. So the first two books I brought are the same book because I have been collecting different editions of The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. So I got this giant paperback edition of the first cover and a newer printing which I've seen around. I already have the smaller paperback version of this, but this one's huge. Like, this one is a larger paperback, so I got it. I was like, fuck it, why not? And then I got this edition because it's new and it's a different cover, the one I don't already have. It's very bright, I don't love the green, but two more editions for the collection. I think I've got 9 individual books now of The Lightning Thief, which I'm quite happy with. So the next two books I brought are 2 books in the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, and that is Sorcery and Lords and Ladies. This is the 3rd book in the Wizards series following Rincewind and the Luggage, but I then have Lords and Ladies, which is one of the Witches books that follows Granny Weatherwax. So I'm very excited for both of these. I do think the Discworld books are great fun, especially these more magical ones. I have read the City Watch books, some of them, and I didn't love those as much. These are definitely much more fun. I have been audiobooking quite a lot of them though, and they are so good on audio. So I probably will audiobook Sorcery at some point and Lords and Ladies later on, because I don't think this is the second Witches book, so I need to check on the order. But I have these 2 lovely editions. I've been collecting these paperbacks, especially the like traditional fantasy covers, because I think they're just so fun. And I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 9 Discworld books now. So yes, and I've only read 6, so go me. And the last Oxfam bookshop book I brought was Uprooted by Naomi Novik, which is really fun. I've actually wanted to read a Naomi Novik book for quite some time. Uprooted was released, I remember this was released and it was big on BookTube and everyone wanted to talk about it. It's about a girl who lives in a village and they rely on a wizard called the Dragon who lives nearby, who really supports them. But every 10 years, a young village woman must leave to help him. And I presume she gets picked and we'll see what happens. But I have Uprooted now, which I think is quite fun. So Uprooted. And then we'll go with the only non-used book haul that I got, used book in this haul. And that is Game Changer by Rachel Reed. This is the Scott Hunter and Kip story. So Scott is a hockey player who falls in love with a barista. I mean, if you've seen the show, this is episode like 3. I think this is. That basically covers this entire storyline and I'm so excited. But my friend said I had to read this before I read Heated Rivalry, which I do already have. So I brought Game Changer so I could read it. You know, it will happen probably sooner rather than later. So Game Changer by Rachel Reed. Then we move on to a sort of strange section of the haul. Some of these books you might recognise if you've been on my channel for a really long time. And I will address that. So the first book series I have bought in its entirety is the Penryn and the End of Days series, starting with Angelfall, World After, and End of Days, all by Susan E. I have read this series and I adored it. I absolutely loved it. I rated it as one of my highest ranked trilogies of all time. If you don't know what this series is about, it's about a world where the angels have come to Earth and basically destroyed the world. It's very post-apocalyptic, and in the first book, Penryn's sister is taken away by the angels, so Penryn goes on this quest to try and get her back. I don't know why I unhauled this series. I unhauled it a few years ago now, and the more I think about it, the more I was like, I just want to reread it. I want to see if I still enjoy it. So I saw these on Vinted for like £3 for the whole series. And I was like, do you know what? I can pick them up, give them a reread. Probably not this year, I think it's going to be next year I reread these. But I'm excited to give them another go. I remember really enjoying it. This was like a booktube. This was a booktube classic back in the day. Like, this series was everywhere for a while, especially Angelfall. So many people read Angelfall. Then people didn't finish the series. So I am going to do it again. I'm going to reread it and sort of enjoy the nostalgia of it. So I purchased all of them to do that. I'm quite excited. So next up is another bit of a odd one. So many years ago, I read Talon by Julie Kagawa. Talon follows a girl named Ember, who is a dragon in human form, who is on the run from the Order of St. George, and essentially she falls in love with a knight from the Order. At least that's sort of what it hints towards in Talon. I only ever read Talon. Talon is book 1. There are 5 books in the series. I unhauled Talon many years ago. And I saw them on Vinted for cheap and was like, oh my god, I really wanted to finish that series. Why did I never do that? And I think now with a lot more books about dragons, shall we say, you know, what's it called? Fourth Wing, that's what it's called. Things like Fourth Wing, very popular. This for me predates all of that. So I really want to give it another go and see if I can finish the series. So I bought Talon. But like I said, I need to finish the series. So I brought all the series because they had all of them for like a £5. I think it was less than that. I think it was like £4. So that is Rogue book 2, Soldier book 3, Legion book 4, and Inferno, which is book 5. Something I did notice as you look at the spines of these, which I think is really interesting, is they clearly changed publisher partway through, because these are all say Inc. and this one says HQ. I thought it was weird. But yes, I am excited to read these. I think it is going to be a real trip to BookTube classic land, because honestly, Talon was everywhere when it came out. I remember it so vividly. So I thought I would embrace that and give it a go again. Don't know when I'm going to get to it, because I have a lot of books I want to get through this year, but I'm doing really well on my TBR challenge. So we'll see. But I've obviously just bought 23 books, so I've not done too well. But not the point. The next 3 books I brought are not rebuys of any capacity, and that is the Night Angel trilogy by Brent Weeks in these lovely mass market paperbacks. Love a mass market paperback for some big epic fantasy. I won't lie, I had to read the synopsis for this, but I know that Brent Weeks is very well thought of. The Way of Shadows follows an assassin and a young man who becomes the assassin's apprentice. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I now own the entire trilogy. I actually already had Way of Shadows, which is book 1. So I need to resell that edition, because I've got this edition now and it matches all the others. So I've got Way of Shadows, Shadow's Edge, and Beyond the Shadows, book 3. So these are huge. I will get to them at some point. But I'm excited to have another completed series to start. Why not? Because I have no impulse control. So the last purchase I want to talk about is another sort of rebuy, but it's a rebuy that I've never read. Once upon a time, many years ago, I acquired some of the Iron Phase series by Julie Kagawa. Again, some more Julie Kagawa. I think I had book 1 and 3. So I saw these on Vinted, and actually they were from the same person who sold the Night Angel trilogy, and I had to look to see if they had anything else, and I got them in a bundle, so I got a bit of a discount. And they had 5 books in the Iron Fae world to sell, so I bought them all. That is Iron King, which is book 1, Iron Knight, which is book 2, Iron Queen, which I had before, but I don't anymore, Iron Daughter, and then The Lost Prince. This is the first book in the sequel series, so I won't necessarily get to this one, but I really want to try and read this series because it is advertised as the next Twilight. And I used to love it. I was a Twilight guy back in the day, so I thought, why not give it a go? This follows a main character called Megan, who has her little brother taken, and she embarks on a world into the fairyland, to find her brother, because it turns out she may or may not be the daughter of a fairy king. Like, that's cool. And this is the thing, this was before fairies were everywhere. I think this is what really baffles me, is that so many fairy books exist now. But this is like OG. I mean, what is the copyright date on Iron Queen? Not Iron Queen, Iron King. First book. It is first published 2011. Like, this predates all of the fairy boom that we're seeing now. So I'm really excited to give these a go and just hopefully enjoy them for what they are. And like, don't get me wrong, I am well past the age for YA books, but there is something about YA that is so easy and accessible to read. Don't get me wrong, some of the characters are irritating and make baffling decisions, but there's such easy reads, and sometimes you just need an easy read. Like, yeah. So I've bought a lot of books. I hope it was 23. I said it's 23. I haven't actually counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, 22, not 23. I'm such a liar. Did I buy another book? I hope I didn't. But yes, that's my book haul. I hope you enjoyed. Might post again, who knows? Just a bit of fun in it. So yeah, bye.